In the last episode, I asked for party dues. We need all people of goodwill to start their $20 recurring party dues. The suggested amount, like I said, is $20. You can do that in the top left corner at taxwallstreetparty.org. We need to pay for the venue. This will cover all the intelligence that comes from you, like I said in the last episode, and the action that comes from us. There are so many fees that we need to pay for. Instead of scrambling last minute, we need dues. This way we can give more. So top left-hand corner, hit the recurring payment button when you put in $20, and this is a great investment. The Swiss franc went up 15% in a single day, heralding world economic depression. This is the year for economics. The Tax Wall Street Party's leading the charge here in America, and we need you to help fund this effort. We need you to come to the class, and that's what I got for today. So I will talk to you soon, Webster.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you very much, and we'll be back next week. We will have a broadcast next week. We might record it a little bit earlier. Let's see how we do it. Okay, thank you, Daniela. Now, let me just wrap up. The Tax Wall Street Party. The Tax Wall Street Party makes history. I already discussed the growing influence, I would even say hegemony, of my analysis on this false flag stuff with the patsies, the Charlie Hebdo, above all, the why. It's not enough to go around with cliches, right? In particular, a lot of very lazy people who, as soon as something happens, they blame it on whoever their favorite target is, right? Some of them will say, well, the Israelis obviously did that, or whatever it is. In this case, if you simply repeat the cliches, you're going to be wrong. Because the question is Hollande rebelling against the NATO discipline. But now let's look at the other ones. The big interesting one is we've been campaigning for the Wall Street sales tax. We got it on CNN the weekend before Obama's inauguration. Our candidates in New York City mayoral races in 2013, Wall Street sales tax. Candidates in Nebraska, in New York State, in the Bay Area of San Francisco, Wall Street sales tax, Wall Street sales tax. Lo and behold, Congressman Van Hollen coming forward. Chris Van Hollen, Democrat of Maryland. He was my congressman here until about 2 years ago when the gerrymander went through. But he's talking about a Wall Street sales tax. This is huge news. Wall Street sales tax proposed by essentially Van Hollen and Pelosi. It's obviously not exactly what I want, but here's what it is. 0.1% fee on stock trades. It's already in reality in the European Union. The Washington Post doesn't realize that this is not a consideration. In Italy and other countries, the government is taking in billions of dollars of revenue as a result of the Euro-Tobin, the European version of the Wall Street sales tax. So 0.1% on all stock trades. You know what we would say to that, of course. We want 1%, and we want stocks and derivatives as well as corporate and other private bonds. Junk bonds, absolutely, 1%. So according to the Washington Post coverage, and I think they're getting it off Van Hollen's handout, $80 billion per year. Think what you can do with $80 billion. The entire program that Michael Chiotinas was just talking about is about $12 billion to save the life of the Greek working class and the Greek population. $12 billion. Here we'd be getting $80 billion, according to these estimates, out of a Wall Street sales tax. They also want to do the following: increase the child tax credit from $3,000 to $8,000, $16,000 per couple. That's a step in the right direction. Savers bonus, a kind of a premium if you put some money away for your retirement. Reduce the marriage penalty. Start limiting the tax breaks for the top 1%. They are on their way to reaping $2 trillion. This is not the right way to go. So, in particular, stop allowing things that are really income to be taxed at other rates. If it's income, it needs to be taxed as income. It's an important reform. But the big thing, the Wall Street sales tax is now out there with Van Hollen and Pelosi for it. after 2 years of agitation by the Tax Wall Street Party, we've got this on the scoreboard. So I also would point out I tried to convince Anthony Brown, Democratic candidate for governor of Maryland, who didn't make it, and Peter Franchot, the controller of Maryland, the tax guy, tried to convince both of them. Didn't come out in the election last year, but now it's out there. They call it an action plan to transfer wealth from Wall Street traders to the heart of the middle class. Well, that's one way to put it. So this is the proposal. And the other thing we're interested in promoting, Petraeus must be indicted. Petraeus divulged top-level state secrets to his paramour, this Mata Hari operative, Paula Broadwell. This is unacceptable. The law has got to be the same for everybody, whether you're a general and the head of the CIA or whoever you are. I would ask these people, you're talking about prosecutions against whistleblowers? How about starting with a prosecution of somebody at the very top who ought to be providing an example, right? These other guys in the past, Deutsch and Sandy Berger, they've all been gotten penalties for taking documents and such stuff. Well, in this case, it's much worse when it's the head of the CIA giving these documents. And of course, if you want to get to the bottom of Benghazi, go up the CIA chain of command, and who will you find at the top in September 2012? Well, you're going to find it was Petraeus. So